Hello everyone. So let us study the AC voltage applied to a series LCR circuit. A series LCR means, so we have connected an inductor, a capacitor and a resistor in series with this AC source. Let the voltage due to this AC source be V equal to Vm sin omega t. So, this is the voltage due to the AC source. So, therefore, the potential drop or voltage across L, C and R is L into di by dt, that is the voltage across or EMF induced in the inductor, I into R according to the Ohm's law, you know, I into R, that is the voltage drop across the resistor R, and at any instant if I is the current flows through this capacitor C, then the voltage across the capacitor is Q by C. So, by Kirchhoff rule, so we can write the applied voltage, that is Vm sin omega t equal to total voltage we can see in the L, C and R. Okay. So, you have to write this explanation. So, if it is asked in the examination, AC voltage applied to a series LCR circuit, so you have to draw the circuit diagram, you have to draw a L, C and R in series with this AC source, then you have to write this explanation. Consider a series LCR circuit connected to an AC source E. As shown in the figure, the voltage of the source is V equal to Vm sin omega t. If Q is the charge on the capacitor and I is the current at any time t, we have from Kirchhoff's loop rule L di by dt plus IR plus Q by C equal to Vm sin omega t. Okay. So, we can find the impedance using the phasor diagram. See the phasor diagram. So, this bigger arrow shows the voltage across R and the current, both are in phase, both lie on the same line, that is V of R, voltage due to the voltage drop across the resistor R, VR. So, this is the same line or same arrow represent the current I also. So, let the angle be omega t plus phi in the LC circuit, and we know that the voltage in the capacitor lags behind the current by pi by 2. So, this bigger arrow or this arrow represent Vc, and we know the voltage across the inductor leads the current by pi by 2. So, this is current, this line represent current. So, voltage leads the current by pi by 2 or current lags the voltage by pi by 2. Okay. So, this is a very important one. So, first you have to draw the bigger line, that is I current. On the same line draw VR, that is the voltage due to the resistor, okay, with the phase angle omega t plus phi, and so this is Vc, that is pi by 2 90 degree, that is lags behind the current I, and this is VL, that is voltage leads the current by pi by 2. Okay. See this arrow or vectors. Okay. So, opposite to each other, therefore, sum of these vectors just change the direction and you can negate it. So, sum of these two vectors VL and VC, okay, just reverse it and subtract it, you will get vector Vc plus Vl. Okay, it is in the vector addition. Actually, in the magnitude means it will be, you can write it as Vc minus Vl. So, maximum voltage, that is Vcm minus Vlm. So, this length represent in vector form, you can write vector Vc plus vector Vl. In the magnitude, you can write it as Vc minus Vl or Vcm minus Vlm. Okay. And this vector, that is Vr. Clear? Okay. Using these two vector, we got the small vector, that is actually in the magnitude, okay, Vc minus Vlm, Vcm minus Vlm. So, this vector I have drawn here, that is Vr, its length is Vrm, its magnitude is Vrm. Okay. So, now in this phasor diagram we have three vectors of voltage, that is Vr, Vc, Vl. In the reduced form we have only two vectors, that is Vr and Vc plus Vl. Okay. So, using parallelogram method, draw parallel to Vr, this arrow, draw parallel to this Vc and Vc plus Vl, this arrow, then join these diagonals. That is the resultant V. Okay, that is the resultant V. So, the phase angle, it is omega t with respect to this line or t. So, this is the phase angle phi. Clear? So, using this phasor diagram, we can obtain the equation for impedance. We should know to draw the phasor diagram. So, let VL, this is explanation, let VL, VR, VC and V represent the voltage across inductor, resistor, capacitor and the source respectively. VL, this is voltage across inductor, VR, voltage across resistor, VC, voltage across capacitor and V, that is the voltage across the source respective, voltage due to the source. Here VR is parallel to I, that is what I have drawn here. VR is parallel to I and VC is pi by 2 behind I. This is VC is pi by 2 behind I and VL is pi by 2 ahead of I. This is VL. VL is pi by 2 90 degree ahead of this I. Okay. The length of amplitude of VR, VC and VL are Vrm. The length of VR is Vrm. Okay, we can write it as I into R, Im into R. Okay, that is the amplitude of the current, Im into R. Similarly, the length of the Vc, we can write it as Vcm, that is, Im into Xc. Okay, this is current, this is capacitive reactance. Okay, it is analogous of the resistance. Similarly, the length of VLm can be written as current into inductive reactance, Im into XL. So, voltage across the resistor Vrm equal to Im into R, due to the capacitor Im into Xc, in the inductor Im into XL. You should know this equation. Then, using the Pythagorean theorem, V square m or Vm square equal to Vrm square plus Vcm minus Vlm whole square. See this triangle. See this triangle. This is a right angle triangle. We can, or you can take this also. you can take any triangle. This is hypotenuse. What is this? V. This hypotenuse, that is V. Okay. So this just, or you can have this triangle. What is actually, that is VCM minus VLM. So VCM minus VLM whole square. What is this? That is nothing but VR or VRM square. Okay, equal to the square of this hypotenuse using the Pythagorean equation. Okay, so this is VRM, this length VRM square plus this length. What is the length of this? That is VCM minus VLM, that is whole square, equal to V square. Clear? So that is the equation we have written here. Okay, hypotenuse VM square equal to V square RM plus another side, that is VCM minus VLM whole square. What is VRM? That is IM into R. Okay, this becomes IM R whole square plus what is VCM? That is IM into XC minus what is VLM? IM into XL. It becomes whole square. Everywhere we can see IM square is common. You can take it out. So you will get R square plus XC minus XL whole square. So bring it to the left hand side, you will get IM square equal to VM square by R square plus XC minus XL whole square. So cancelling the square on the both the sides, okay, you can get this as root, square root. Okay, so cancel the square on both the sides. So IM square, you get IM, and if you cancel the square, V square M, you can write it as VM, and here there is no square, so it becomes the root. Under root R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Okay. You can write the denominator as Z. Okay, what is the denominator? That is under root R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Okay, so that you can write this equation as IM equal to VM by Z. Here this term, the Z, is called impedance. This term Z is called impedance. It is nothing but analogous of the resistance in the LCR circuit. So current equal to voltage by resistance, we know using the Ohm's law. So here IM equal to VM by Z. Okay, Z is analogous of resistance in the LCR circuit. So it is known as, it is called as impedance. Impedance in an AC circuit. So the equation for Z is Z equal to under root R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Okay, so this is the equation what we required. Clear? So see once again. So our derivation is AC voltage applied to a series LCR circuit, and hence to find the impedance. For this you need to draw the circuit diagram, a series LCR with this AC source. Then the voltage due to the AC source is V equal to Vm sin omega t. The voltage drop we can see in the inductor, resistor and capacitor, that is L di by dt plus I into R plus Q by C equal to Vm applied. Applied one is Vm sin omega t, that is according to Kirchhoff's loop rule. So to get the impedance, you have to solve using the phasor diagram. So very, very important. So here we know Vc pi by 2 lakhs of the current IR VR. VR and I, they parallel to each other, because we know the voltage due to the voltage AC voltage applied to a pure resistor. Okay, both will be have the same phase, that is current and voltage. Similarly, we know the voltage due to the capacitor lags behind the current by pi by 2, and voltage in the inductor leads the current by pi by 2. So, you can see check my previous videos for all these three derivation: voltage due to the pure resistor, AC voltage applied to pure capacitor, voltage applied to AC voltage applied to a pure inductor. Check my old videos. So, now if we have three vectors here, VR, VC and VL. Now, you can see here VC and VL opposite to each other, you can get the sum of VC and VL. So, this small arrow, the length in magnitude is VCM minus VLM, the length of VR, let it be VRM, the length of this V, let it be VM. Okay. Using this right angle triangle, you can write this equation: V square M plus equal to VRM square plus VCM minus VLM whole square. Now, substitute the equation for VRM, that is IM into R whole square, plus VCM is IM into XC minus what is VLM? IM into XL, it becomes whole square. Everywhere IM square is common, take it out, you will get R square plus the remaining is XC minus XL whole square. Bring it to the left hand side, you will get IM square equal to VM square by R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Now, cancel the square on the both the sides, you can get IM equal to VM by, there is no square. So, this whole thing becomes R square plus XC minus XL whole square. So, this can be written as Z. So, IM equal to VM by Z. So, Z is the analogous of the resistance due to the LCR circuit, it is known as impedance, where Z equal to under root R square plus XC minus XL whole square. Here R is the resistance, XC is the capacitive reactance, XL is the inductive reactance. So, this is all about the LCR circuit. So, next let us study about the impedance diagram. Impedance diagram. If you remember that phasor diagram, okay, in terms of the resistances or analogous of resistances, so the hypotenuse is Z, okay, opposite side will be XC minus XL, and the angle is phi, and this length is R. So, this is the impedance diagram or triangle. You have to write some explanation for this. R is the resistance, XC is the capacitive reactance, XL is the inductive reactance, and Z is the impedance of the series LCR circuit, and phi is the phase angle between VR and V in the previous phasor diagram. From the figure, tan phi equal to XC minus XL by R. Okay. So, we know tan is tan theta. If you apply it to this right angle triangle, so tan phi equal to opposite by base, that is XC minus XL by R. Okay. So, we can get the direction of or angle of phase angle of this VR and V. So, in this case, if XC greater than XL, see here, if this value is greater than XL, you will get the positive value, the phi will be positive, and circuit is, since XC is more, the circuit is predominantly capacitive. Okay, this is the observation what we can write using this equation. If XC is greater than XL, this whole thing becomes positive, then phi is positive, and the circuit is predominantly capacitive. That is, in the capacitor we know current leads the voltage by voltage of the source. Similarly, if XC less than XL, in this equation XC less than XL, okay, we'll get a negative value, phi is negative, and the circuit is predominantly inductive. Okay, circuit is predominantly inductive. That means the current in the circuit lags the source voltage. Current lags behind the source voltage. So, this is all about impedance diagram. Okay, friends. The next topic is transformers. Transformer. Okay. So, you might have seen the transformer. So, in your localities, okay. Then what is the purpose of transformer? Transformer is a device which step up or step down the AC voltage. Okay, sometimes you need more voltage or sometimes you need less voltage. From the transmission center, we want to send the current in the higher voltage, so that there will be no loss of the current. Okay. In the receiving end, that is in your home or in your locality, we need more current with low voltages. Okay. So, in that case, we can use the transformer. Then what is transformer? Transformer is a device which step up or what is you can increase the voltage, or step down, you can decrease the voltage. Okay, you can decrease the AC voltages using this device. Okay. So, this is a simple diagram for transformer. Okay, this is soft iron core on which coils are wounded, a copper coils are wounded. Okay, these are insulated coils. So, this coil you can term it as primary coil, this coil you can term it as secondary coil. To this primary coil we give AC input. As the current varies, the magnetic flux linked with this coil also varies. Okay. As the current varies in the primary coil, the magnetic flux linked with the secondary coil also varies. So, that will induce an EMF in the secondary coil. If we increase the number of turns, we get more voltages. Okay. So, voltage directly depends upon the rate of change of flux as well as number of turns. Okay, that is according to Faraday's law. The induced EMF is directly proportional to the number of turns. If we increase number of turns, we get more flux. Okay, and also depends upon the rate of change of flux, where phi is the magnetic flux here. Okay, this is the diagram you need to draw, or you can wound both this coil on the same iron core. Okay, you can have the two types of transformers. It is enough for your exam purpose. Then you have to write this explanation. Consider an ideal transformer in which the primary has negligible resistance and all the flux in the core links both primary and secondary windings. These windings have negligible resistance, and whatever the flux it produces, let us assume all the flux linked with the secondary one. Let phi be the flux in the each turn in the core at time t due to the current in the primary when voltage Vp is applied to it. The voltage applied is Vp, that is primary voltage. Okay. Then the induced EMF or voltage Es in the secondary, where Ns is the number of turns in the secondary. And what is the EMF induced in the secondary? If we apply the voltage across the primary, that is given by Es equal to minus Ns d phi by dt. So, this is according to the Faraday's second law. Okay. So, negative sign indicates the direction of the current. Okay. It is always opposite the cause. The alternate alternating flux phi also induces an EMF called back EMF in the primary. Okay, when the primary induces current in the secondary, it also induces, here also flux changes, that also once again induces a back EMF in the primary one. Okay, at the same time. It is given by EP. EP equal to minus this induced EMF in the primary, EP equal to minus NP, that is NP is the number of turns in the primary coil. Okay, you can have here in the figure we have 1, 2, 3 windings. Okay, that is a number of turns in the primary coil. EP equal to minus NP d phi by dt. So, these are the very important two equations. ES equal to minus NS d phi by dt, EP equal to minus NP d phi by dt. So, induced EMF is nothing but the voltage across the primary as well as secondary. So, we can write instead of EP we can write Vp, instead of ES we can write Vs, so that we can write the previous equation as instead of ES we can write Vs. So, Vs equal to minus Ns d phi by dt, Vp equal to minus Np d phi by dt. Divide these two equations. So, d phi by dt cancels. So, you will get Vs by Vp equal to, so minus negative sign cancels. So, Ns by Np, or Vs equal to, bring Vp here, Ns by Np into Vp. What is Vs? That is voltage across secondary, that is output part. Okay. Vp is the input voltage, but how can we increase the voltage across secondary? See here, what is Ns? That is the number of turns in the secondary. What is Np? Number of turns in the primary. If you want more voltage means we need more number of turns in the secondary with respect to primary. The primary number of turns in the primary coil must be less and number of turns in the secondary must be more. So, the total value becomes more. Okay, you know, when the denominator is less with respect to numerator, the value will be more. Okay. So, this is the equation we need to get for step up or step down the voltages. If you want to step down the voltage means you have to increase the number of turns in the primary. Clear? If you want more voltage means in the secondary means you have to increase the number of turns in the secondary. Or if you want a less voltage means you have to increase Np compared with the Ns. Okay, for example, this is 100 means this must be 50, you will get more voltage. Similarly, if you want to find the current, or if you want to step up or step down the current, so let us derive this equation. Consider if the transformer is assumed to be 100% efficient, that is no loss of power means, 100% efficient means there will be no loss of power due to some reason. Then the power is equal to the power, input power is equal to the output power. What is input power? We know the equation for power, I into V. IV is the equation for power. Here IPVP, input power equal to output power. IPVP is the input power, ISVS is the output power. If we assume the transformer is 100% efficient, input power is equal to output power. Now rearrange. Okay, bring IS to the left hand side, VP to the right hand side, you will get IP by IS equal to VS by VP. Okay. So, let it be equation 4, but we know Vs by Vp is nothing but Ns by Np. Vs by Vp is nothing but Ns by Np. here we have Vs by Vp. Instead of this, instead of Vs by Vp, we can substitute Ns by Np, that is in terms of number of turns, or what we need, output current, that is Is. We need Is, bring Is here. Okay, Ns and Np, it will be reciprocal line, it will move to the left hand side. So, we will get Is equal to Ip into Np by Ns, Np by Ns. Okay, this is completely in the reverse. In the voltage case, we got Ns by Np. In the case of current, we get Np by Ns. Okay, so completely ulta this one. If we increase number of turns in the secondary, if Ns greater than Np, what happens? If Ns is greater than Np, current will be less, output current will be less. Okay, but here voltage will be more. Okay, if Ns is greater than Np, Ns is greater than Np, you will get less output current, but more output voltage. See, Ns is here in the numerator part. Similarly, that means a step up transformer steps down the current. Okay. So, since Ns is more than Np, you will get more voltage. Ns is greater than Np, the voltage is stepped up, that is Vs is greater than Vp, that is the conclusion, and the transformer is called step up transformer. Okay. Similarly, if Ns is less than Np, Np is more, so Vs output will be less. So, we can write the final conclusion. If Ns is less than Np, the voltage is step down, that is Vs less than Vp, and the transformer is called step down transformer. Okay, guys. So, this is all about the designing or constructing the transformer and its explanation. The last topic is what are the reasons for energy loss in the transformer. Okay. So, very important one. So, normally these questions comes in the your annual examinations. The reasons for energy loss in the transformer. Just write the reasons only, no need of explanation. So, due to the flux leakage, the first reason is due to the flux leakage. Okay. See here, when the current changes in the primary coil, okay, magnetic flux linked with this coil also changes. Some magnetic flux may go out of this secondary coil. Okay. So, that is the loss of flux. It is called flux leakage. Clear? That is one of the reason for energy loss in the transformer. Similarly, the second point is due to the resistance of the windings. Okay. If the resistance of these windings are more, means the energy will be lost as in the form of heat. Okay. So, you may get the lesser amount of voltage as you calculated. You may not get the same amount of voltages as you calculated using the equation. Okay. That is due to these reasons. The first one is due to the flux leakage, second one is due to the resistance in the windings. Next is due to the eddy currents. Okay. In the previous chapter, you have learned the eddy currents, the circulating current. Okay. It also produces the heating effect. So, that also one of the reasons for loss in the transformer, energy in the transformer. Similarly, due to the hysteresis. So, due to the AC current, the due to the magnetization and demagnetization takes continuous process. So, due to that that process is called hysteresis. So, due to that process, there may be some loss of energy in the transformer. So, these are the 4 key points you have to learn That's the reasons for energy loss in the transformer. First one is due to the flux leakage. Second one, energy loss due to the resistance in the windings. Third point, energy loss due to the eddy currents. The last point, the energy loss due to hysteresis. Okay. So guys, I hope you understood today's topic. If you like the video, please like, share, comment and subscribe my YouTube channel You Ask. Thank you for watching the video.